Hey everybody, this is Joe Payne, your friendly municipal music teacher with the Santa Maria Recreation and Parks Department, back again with another baritone ukulele lesson, alright? I like the baritone ukulele because it's a lot like the guitar. It's the 4 strings of it are the same as the last 4 strings of the guitar. So it's D, G, B, E. So a lot of the chord shapes we learn will be applicable to the guitar. Today I want to talk about 7 chords. We have major and minor chords. Those are called basic triads. But then when you add the 7th note, and that's the 7th note from the root, you start to get some really interesting sounds, vary up your playing, and do some fun stuff. So this is a song I was working on with the ukulele group at the Elwyn Muscle Senior Center, and it's La Vie en Rose, a classic jazz number. Louis Armstrong did it, Madeleine Perrault, Edith Piaf. Great, great classic jazz number, okay? And you don't really need a ton of chords for it, but if you add these 7 chords, you get a really fun sound, okay? So we're going to start the 3 chords. We're going to start with the basic chords, or C major, D minor, and G. Okay, this is what those look like. So the C chord starts with your middle finger on the lowest string, the D string, and then you leave the G string open, first fret of the B string. If you're on a guitar, you would just add your ring finger here to the A string, but we don't have that, so we have these 2 here, and the last string open. Okay, now the D minor leaves the D string open, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, ring finger on the 1st fret of the B string, that's a D note, and then we have pointer finger on the F, or the 1st fret of the E string, that's an F note. So this is D minor, see how nice that sounds? And then G is right here. It's all the strings open except the last one, and that's the 3rd fret of the E string with your ring finger. So again, C, D minor, G. Now those are the basic chords, but we're going to add 7ths to all of these chords. Now what that means is, if you think of the root of your chord, that's the note that gives us its name. If you have a C chord, C is the root. If you have the D minor chord, D is the root. If you have the G chord, G is the root. So if you know what an octave is, that's the same note again in the pattern, in the 12-tone musical pattern. So an octave, oct for 8, right? Like an octopus has 8 tentacles. You know, that's an octave. That's the same note again. So a 7 is a chord with a regular chord, and then it has the note just below the root. Okay, so we're going to learn a C major 7, a D minor 7, and G7, or what's called G dominant 7, but most often you just see it called G7. Okay, and we're going to compare them to the C chords. Let's take a look. So here's our regular C chord. If you lift your pointer finger, you're adding the B note to make the C major 7. Now this also sounds like E minor on the baritone ukulele because we're limited in strings, but functionally this is a C major 7. Again, if it was a guitar, we would keep our ring finger here. Okay, see that? And this song will play C and then go to C major 7. Okay, then with D minor, here's D minor, we want D minor 7, and that's actually going to involve taking this D all the way down from D, D sharp to C natural, and so we're going to do what's called barring. Okay, so we're going to flatten both of these notes with one finger, the pointer finger. So you can make a clamp. You can see how I'm doing that here. All right, so you clamp and then you keep the middle finger on the 2nd fret. You hear that? Beautiful, lush chord, just gives a lot of flavor to this. So that's from our regular D minor to D minor 7, okay? In fact, this song is going to change from D minor to D minor 7 a few times, I believe. Now, for G, to make it G7, we also bring it down 2 notes from G, F sharp, or G flat to F. So we have a G chord with the F note. This is G dominant 7, also known just as G7. And so we're often going to go from D minor 7 to G7. And notice we already have that note, but you just move your pointer finger to just get that note. D minor 7, G7. Back to C. That's the big move. D minor 7, G7, C. Now, in the key of C, D, this makes sense if you count C, D is going to be the second note. So we call D minor 7 the 2 chord. If you remember, I went over this before. C, D, E, F, G is the 5 chord. So what we're working on here is called the 2-5-1 progression. Big deal in jazz, big deal in lots of music, but this is very associated with jazz. And so you'll hear D minor 7, 2 to G7, 5 to 1. So, if we go back to the 60s, I love the Beatles. You hear, "You never give me your money," right? "You only give me," and it keeps going. So again, 2, 5, 1. Okay? Now, the way La Vie en Rose goes is it goes like this. It starts with C, C major 7. Hear how that goes? D minor. And then D minor 7 for 2 strums, G7. Back to D minor 7, G7, D minor, and again D minor 7, G7. So you hear that? It does a 2-beat, 2-strum, D minor 7, G7, because it's such a strong progression. Okay. Now, with the singing, which I'm not the best singer, but let me try. It goes, "Hold me close and hold me fast." That's C major 7. "The magic spell you cast." That's D minor. "This is La Vie en," D minor 7 to G7, "Rose." Back to D minor 7. "When you kiss me," G7, "heaven's sign. And though I close my D minor eyes, I see love." D minor 7, G7. Okay? And it's back to C. "When you press me to your heart," C major 7. "I'm in a world apart, a world where roses," D minor 7, G7. So you can see here, with these just 3 chords, you have the basic, what's called a triad. That's a 3-note chord. Major, C major, D minor, G. We can add with these 7 notes a little bit of more flavor, and it really creates more momentum. You can hear C, C major 7, creates movement. D minor to D minor 7, the bar, the G7, that pointer finger on the last string, back to D minor 7 to G7, then we go to D minor, and again D minor 7 to G7. You hear that? There's all kinds of stuff you can do with just these 3 chords. Add them to the chords we've worked on before, and you can just play hundreds and hundreds of songs. But if you're having trouble with this, it's important to remember you need to just practice moving chord to chord without without putting too much pressure on yourself. Just practice the movement back and forth. D minor 7 to G7, D minor 7 to G7. How about D minor to D minor 7, okay? D minor to D minor 7, all right? Or just G to G7 to C. G7 to C is great. It's where it all starts 5 to 1, but now we've added 2-5-1, okay? So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more here from the City of Santa Maria Recreation and Parks Department. I've been your friendly municipal music teacher, Joe Payne, helping you understand the baritone ukulele. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks for watching.